This doesn't happen very often. But here I am. On the fence, trying to decide whether or not I like the Air Jordan Flight Club 91. Let's talk about it. Well, I'll talk about it. You do have the opportunity to leave any thoughts you've got in the comments below though. The Flight Club 91 is an interesting shoe. It's a lifestyle shoe, I'm pretty sure, but it's got the exact same outsole as the Air Jordan 6. So it's pretty safe to assume that it would perform in the same way if that's what you were interested in. Not that I'm doing a review on its performance credentials, but something I wanted to throw out there. It's not unsurprising that we would see those details in the outsole though, because the silhouette itself borrows really heavily from the Air Jordan 6. Well, for the most part anyway. Definitely from about the mid-foot back. We also have a nod to the Air Jordan 6 in the title of the shoe. 1991 was the year that the Air Jordan 6 debuted. And on a side note, 1991 was also the year the Air Huarache was released. That was another very famous Tinker Hatfield creation. And you can see that Tinker really put some of those design cues from the Air Huarache into the 6th iteration of the signature Air Jordan shoe. One of those being this neoprene booty that we found in the Air Jordan 6 that's also made its way to the Flight Club 91. But anyway, back to this shoe, and I don't think we got the toe box lifted and shifted from the Air Jordan 6. Not that I think it's a bad thing. I actually quite like this more boxy rendition of a toe box area. It's something that's a little bit more reminiscent of an Air Force 1 or an Air Jordan 4 with this extra paneling just above the midsole around the forefoot of the shoe. I'm not saying it's exactly like an Air Force 1 or an Air Jordan 4. I'm just getting more AF1, AJ4 vibes with the design of the toe box. The model that I've got here is the Gym Red and Black model, and Gym Red is basically across the entire upper of the shoe, with the exception of some cutaways in the midfoot as well as the tongue. The branding on the tongue and on the heel as well are done in white, but everything else on the shoe, including the laces and the pull tab on the heel, are done in red. Or Gym Red. We do have a couple of different materials in the upper. Two types of leather, a synthetic leather and a real leather. The real leather is more of a nubuck type of feeling material. That is that panel around the forefoot, just above the midsole here. And then the panel that sort of creates a triangle-ish shape around the heel. The exposed black parts of the midfoot are a textile type of material, as is the booty that sits inside of the leather paneling. It's kind of neoprene-y, textile-y, materially feeling. Yeah. And this is where I feel like I'm most conflicted about this shoe. I really want to like it. I think it's a nice looking silhouette, but the choice of materials, especially those leathers, are just really poor. I'm not sure if it's the actual materials that are that bad, or if it's because the gym red is just so unforgiving on these poor material choices that the shoe's upper just feels so weak. The synthetic leather almost feels like a hard vinyl. It's not soft at all to the touch and really doesn't look like it'll age all that well. The nubuck around the forefoot and the heel though feels nice enough, but I'm not sure if it's enough to save the shoe. On the flip side, you are getting a mid silhouette that borrows pretty heavily from an Air Jordan 6 model at a pretty competitive price point, $190 here in Australia. But I can't help but feel that if you have got another similar color in an Air Jordan mid, you could probably pass on this particular model. For someone like me though, that has an insane addiction to shoes and a love for the Air Jordan brand, the battle continues to rage on in my head, so I still haven't made a decision as to whether or not I want to keep it, but it really is the upper that sort of keeps me from loving the shoe. As for the cushioning setup, we've got a polyurethane midsole. It's largely white with some black accents, and then we've got an exposed air unit in the heel for a little bit of additional cush. What do you guys think of the Flight Club 91? Do you like the silhouette, and have you purchased this, and are you disappointed, or do you think it fits within your expectations? Let me know in the comments below, but until the next video, laters.